Originally, a Terminator was sent back in time to wipe out humanity. And now Terminator Genisys has been sent to 2015 to show us that it worked. There's actually no more humanity left in Terminator movies. Terminator Genisys with a Y, so Swice, Genisys. So Terminator Genisys exists as hopefully a reboot and a revitalization to the Terminator franchise. Judging by my intro, you know it's kinda not. And it started out really cool. It shows the future and it shows the story unfold as we know it, and then Kyle Reese has to get sent back in time to save Sarah Connor, and the timeline's completely different now. And I was loving that shit. I was like, okay, as long as we stick here, it's gonna be good. Then it takes a dip into another direction, not really the John Connor as a Terminator thing. I mean, that's actually a thing that I was fine with. As a Terminator fan, you would think I'd be like, nah, fuck this movie, they ruined John Connor. The way they do it, I was fine with it, so now we have a new Terminator trying to screw mankind who happens to be John Connor. And if you're seeing that as a flaw, that's like the 9th thing wrong with the movie. Seriously, alright, what I liked about the movie is the gimmick that Arnold is back as the Terminator. That's what I really like. He was great as the machine we grew up to love, and the fact that Jai Courtney is in this movie means that Arnold is not the biggest robot in the movie. Seriously, I have no idea. I'm watching the movie and I'm just going, why was Jai Courtney cast as Kyle Reese? Seriously, Jai Courtney would have been a fine Terminator in the movie. He would have been a great T-800. He's a big dude, he's kind of stoic, he has no emotion whatsoever, no personality. He kind of reminded me of Luke Skywalker from the first Star Wars movie. He was kind of a whiner. He just bitched and moaned the entire time. He cracked jokes with no comedic timing whatsoever, and he had zero chemistry with Daenerys Targaryen, who plays Sarah Connor in this movie. I was skeptical about her. I actually ended up liking her as young Sarah Connor. She was actually enjoyable as a young chick who was just ultimately raised to be a child soldier. If you really look at John Connor from T2, that's what he was, and it's kind of what Sarah Connor was in this one. It was really neat seeing Sarah Connor in John Connor's shoes. And the fact that the movie just tries to be too big, and it is big, but it can't carry the weight of the load it's toppling in on itself. If it just stuck to the fact that it's Terminator 1, but it's a new timeline, they're doing things differently now, that would have been fine. But then it goes another direction with another direction. It's like J.K. Simmons is in this movie. I like the concept of J.K. Simmons' character, but his character was wasted and he was wasted. So you're like, why bother? Why even do that? I imagine when making this movie, they were trying to pitch a movie that was the next Terminator 2, and in reality, they have a movie that really reminded me a lot of Terminator 3. Seriously, and I'm not just saying that, there are a lot of plot elements in this movie that reminded me of Terminator 3. In the beginning, you think they're unwriting all that shit, and they do, only to rewrite it the same, but kind of different, but ultimately it's like, hey, here's your new T3. Guys, in the end, Terminator Genisys had some enjoyment in it for me. It had neat action-ish things. Nothing really memorable. You're not gonna walk out going, I loved that one action sequence. It starts off and it looks like it's going in a good direction, and then it ultimately just tries to be too big for its own good. So big, in fact, that I think they cut back on the special effects budget because some of the T-800s in the future don't look that great, and T-1000 looks no better than he did in Terminator 2. That's 24 years ago, folks. That's a long time. It's entertaining-ish, but in the end, you're gonna walk out of Terminator Genisys and you're not gonna remember it in T-1 day.
Yes, that's right. I already forgot. It's gone now.
There are even plot elements in this movie like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who sent him back? No one really knows. Lore says it was John Connor, but the movie never shows that happen. It's just like Kyle Reese, go back. Okay, now there's I don't think the writers knew. They were just like, I don't know. People aren't gonna think about this shit. People do, man. Lock down your plot a bit better. People aren't as dumb as you think they are. There's a Terminator Genisys. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.
Lol.